Hello.
Welcome back to Why We Roll, and also Blister Critters special guest crossover episode.
Oh.
And we have the amazing Jenn Vega as well. So we have sort of a couple things going on. We're going to play Blister Critters. We have the game's primary creator, Tony Grasso, here. And we have special guest player, Jenn Vega of Fun City Ventures fame and many other things.
Many other things.
Yes.
Yeah, before we jump in, Jenn, you want to tell us about yourself? Anything you want to plug? Anything like that?
Hello, I'm Jenn Vega. I voice Vivian Lakewood and Mercus on Fun City and Float City. We actually have a new episode coming out this week on Friday. And then I'm also on a mini-series called Replay, and we are using the game Die RPG, and our finale is actually live airing tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. So if y'all want to catch that later, that would be wonderful. Or it will be on all podcast platforms tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, anybody that's watching the stream, I would definitely suggest checking that out. Replay has been super cool, super fun. I catch it in the background at home
when I'm listening to an edit, yeah.
When Jen's listening to edits. But I will say it's beautiful. It's super well produced. It's a lot of fun. The game is really cool as well. So I would definitely suggest checking that out. Or if you're listening later to the podcast, you can find Replay, wherever you get your podcasts, I'm assuming, right, Jenn?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
All the platforms.
Then, we also have Tony Grasso with us, the creator of Blister Critters. Tony, tell us about yourself. I mean, you've been on the show before, but,
Yeah, I was on the show recently. My name's Tony.
We're about to drop that episode, by the way, so you'll be able to hear an interview with Tony and this pretty soon. So,
maybe even at the same time. Who knows?
Yeah.
I've rambled on the podcast a little bit before. I'm a Florida-based artist. I make tabletop games, and namely here we're putting together Blister Critters with the Stillfleet studio. I'm excited to produce an episode for you guys today on the stream. Thanks for having me back on.
Nice, yeah. And then, again, we haven't dropped this episode yet. It is coming out today. But, Tony, can you give us a run-through of what is Blister Critters? What are we going to be playing today, just really briefly?
Sure. Blister Critters is a tabletop role-playing game where you are set in a Saturday morning cartoon. You play as mutated animals like mice and turtles and raccoons in a humanless suburbia. So all the humans are gone, have been gone for quite a while, and all of their stuff and buildings and world is kind of out there for you and your other critter friends to explore and try to survive this post-eco apocalypse. The game kind of centers around being a cartoon. So there's a lot of powers and themes in the mechanics that allow you to really express where in other games you are much more tied to how hard you can swing a flail. In Blister Critters, it is much more, what is the weirdest thing I can make a flail out of, and what is the strangest thing I can hit with it, is how I like to bring people into it.
We've
Blister
also
Critters
been calling it like Ren and Stimpy meets Fallout, which seems like
Oh,
a very,
I like that. Two
have you
things
ever
that I
wanted
like.
It builds upon a bunch of cartoons. I think depending on how dark you want to run it, you can also do a water ship down and have a good cry time playing Blister Critters as well. So it takes in all types of shows and cartoons and lets everybody have a good scrappy time.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Fun.
Cool. Well, should we jump in?
Yeah.
Let's
get right into it.
All right. What do you got?
So for Blister Critters, as part of the box set that we're going to be making available through the Kickstarter, there's going to be this big book of ad-libs. So the point of the ad-libs is prior to every episode of the show, every session that you play, you as the producer, that's me today, will give your players, as they're kind of settling in, everyone's grabbing their snacks and figuring out what they're going to be doing for the day, you would pass around the sheet with blank slates with words for them to fill in and kind of pass around. And then as everybody settles in and you're ready to actually start the game outright, you as the producer will read through this mock infomercial to kind of get your players in the mood and in the zone for your world. It provides a little bit of like fun collaborative world building, which is a really core focus for Blister Critters, to be like player centric in terms of the way that the world is set up. and it gives you like distinct locations that you can go visit, kind of like we will today. So prior to this episode, I sent the players a short list of like words and adjectives and nouns that I needed from them, and they happily obliged. So jumping right into it, we open on a... I gotta find the right one. I'm sorry.
Yo, this is some live. This is like a VJ. Y'all
Oh
know
my God,
VJs?
I've literally never seen anyone run a game through Photoshop
Yeah.
before. This is
Tony's like that. Tony's
It's
like that
amazing.
with the creative
You
suite.
got layers.
Got them layers, baby.
There we go. We're doing it live.
Yeah, this is great.
Oh my
Sweet.
God.
We open on this big man standing in front of the Roly Poly arcade. He is wearing a really crude, like plastic, like Roly Poly bug outfit. It's kind of shining a little too much in the sunlight. And he's eyeing the camera for a little too long before the commercial actually starts. Come on down to the Roly Poly arcade for a gleaming time. We've got lint games, magenta games, and even snoot games. And the camera cuts to like inside the arcade, and it's like this really disturbing looking long dog face that is actually a skee ball machine where the kids are rolling the balls up the nose and into the head. It doesn't look right, but the kids are having a good time. Ever played the one where you contain the soup inside out? And it cuts to a bunch of kids just shaking open soup cans around, and it's just flying out all over the place. Or slide into outer space and a really goofy like whistle. Some little kid like on a PNG flying out. We've got them all. The camera cuts to a kid. Boy, I sure do love playing spiffy dentures from the gas station bathroom. And it cuts back to the guy. Me too, kid. Me too. For this week only, all games at the Roly Poly arcade are only 3 tokens. That's a $15 million value off each game. And then it's cuts to like a wide shot with like the logo, and a weird jingle starts to play. Roly Poly, holy free, holy. And that's the end of the TV static.
I remember that commercial from childhood.
Yeah, don't you?
Well.
That
We all
classic,
saw
that classic '90s commercial.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Going down to the RP.
Directly following the jingle, the camera is like a big wide shot of the Roly Poly arcade. This like really crudely drawn mascot and this big, what would have been like a lit up display on the front sits atop like this big old dilapidated building. It starts off wide and kind of starts to pan down to 3 little critters walking down the side. We're in this like suburban shopping mall, the one where it's like all flat. It doesn't like wrap around at all. It's just like 4 or 5 little buildings all set up next to each other. And we are panning down into 3 little critters walking alongside each other, making their way towards the Roly Poly. One roach kind of walks in front holding this massive like flyer with like the Roly Poly stuff on it. You 3 were sent by your burrow, and it's kind of scribbled in animalish across the page here. The Roly Poly arcade has been next to your burrow for a long time. So in Blister Critters, animals live in like large colonies, burrows that take place. Sometimes they're underground, sometimes they're in old, worn-out buildings where obviously the humans aren't there. So make yourself at home. You guys are coming from your burrow at the pizza place, a building down. And over the past month or so, you guys have been having a hard time getting power to the pizzeria. Your burrow specifically is known in the area and the surrounding areas for taking in like outcast and injured critters from all over the place. But with a lack of power, it's been really, really hard to properly treat and take care of these critters that typically roll through and get help and leave. Chris, or I guess Dylan, what about your burrow, I guess, makes it unique from some of the other ones around? If you could like list off a thing or two that like, yeah, my burrow does X.
Well, thank you for asking me. Our borough is well known in the strip mall area for having a surplus of foodstuffs. You see, when the humans left this palace of a pizza parlor to us, the critters, the rightful owners of the world and the foodstuffs, they left behind all kinds of flour and canned foods and whatnot. And using our ingenious critter technologies, mostly our claws and teeth, we've been able to access these foodstuffs. And so people come to us, the hungry, the weak, they come to our burrow knowing that they will be fed and cared for.
Absolutely. Mouthfuls of marinara sauce and 2-decade-old pepperoni for all.
Hmm.
They say it never goes bad.
Roach, you were relatively close with the borough leader, and he has asked you to kind of organize the two people around you to send out. What was he like? Or what is he like? He's still here.
I mean, he's here and he's not here because, you know how age does that to some people? They change. And I don't mean change like in a bad sense. They just kind of inhabit themselves in a different way. And you realize that you've been hearing this high-pitched voice since the camera first, cut from the commercial.
He's just droning in the background.
And it's just been like very slowly turned up. And you will realize for the duration of this hour and a half, every time you're hearing Roach, she is mid-sentence monologuing to herself in the style of a very intelligent, like a college professor, like someone who's just very absorbed in her own head, with very little awareness of what's going on around her. So she is describing a cottonmouth snake who's very old, who might be dead, they're not sure. Has just been coiled up for a while, and everyone's been trying to heat him up, and now he's kind of like completely immounded in just sweater parts and cardboard scraps from the pizza boxes, and they're like not sure if it's working or if it's become like a cairn, like a mausoleum. So anyway, cut back, fade back in Roach, and Roach is just like, so, some of the most interesting memories you have with folks are not of them, but of like their earlier selves, if you know what I mean. Like, is it the same person? Can you step in the river twice? Whatever. I get it. Heraclitus, like, fuck off. And she just is, kind of continues in that manner. Yeah.
Sweet. Mac, you are obviously hearing all of Roach's ramblings. What is your relation to the other two that you're walking next to?
Mac is just a yes rodent, like not a yes man, but just like and after every sentence, despite Mac not listening, she will zip up to the rain gutter, grab a leaf to chew on, and just come back.
Sweet. Dylan, what do you think of Roach's rambling? Is it something you're just like tuning out, or you're like, yep, we're just gonna get there?
Yeah, I think Dylan is just kind of tuning Roach out. Dylan thinks that he thinks that he's the armadillo in charge. He's the big man, so he believes his own bull, his own BS, and just kind of like tunes other people out. He doesn't really pay attention too much to them as long as they're not getting in his way.
Oh, this is going to go so well, Chris. None of us are listening to each other already.
Yeah. So the old snake either did or did not send you guys over to deal with the new neighbors that have been taking up all of the power. Power in Blister Critters, electricity is hard to come by, and there was whoever the previous occupants were. Your burrow and them had worked out a nice deal, but once they left or were kicked out, the new occupants have been draining so much power that helping people and getting the marinara cans open has been an awfully hard time. So either the snake sent you or you decided on your own to come solve the problem over at the Roly Poly arcade.
I like that there's ambiguity. I think that the way that it shakes out is that the snake did send us, but Dylan has convinced himself that it was his idea.
Yeah. I thought about it long and hard, and I'm just gonna go solve the problem.
Yeah. After many hours of consideration, I believe that we are the best team to solve this problem. It's like, yeah, that's what they told you to do.
You guys are getting closer to the door. It's a long way for some little critters to make their way from one door to the other. As you're approaching the arcade, the sound of like little whistles going off and ding, and the cheer from little critters grows louder and louder from the inside as you guys are getting closer to the actual door. You're not used to doors just opening for you, but they have everything wired up in the Roly Poly arcade. So these doors are automatic and kind of pan open for you guys, and the camera reveals this broad, super colorful, super bright, very loud, like vibrant children's arcade. Sweeping around the scene, Mac, what is like a distinctive theme of the Roly Poly arcade?
Oh, it's got like just animatronics, just rolling things. So like there's various scenes of like, a big bear with a hula hoop with a stick. There's a seal with a beach ball. There's even a shopping cart that's being like pushed, and there's like a bunch of
a big shopping cart with eyes.
Yeah, and there's it's full of snacks that are also alive that are like woo, and so that shopping cart is just like tilting precariously over a ledge above the entrance, like oh.
Is there like an animatronic Sisyphus, but the boulder has like a cartoon face on it, and it's like rolling back
It's
and
a ski
forth
ball.
smiling. Yeah.
It's a Sisyphus themed ski ball in the snout of this. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So in the far corner of the arcade, there's like this stage that's all lit up, and the lights are kind of alternating and blinking on and off, and there's all these strange rolling centric mascots, kind of dilapidated, like those shots of the old like Chuck E. Cheese animatronics where their faces are kind of half on. Some of these animatronics have been standing for way too long. They're robotically kind of shifting around. The rolling cart pushes itself back and forth, and the bear hits the hoop. It just keeps coming back. It's like attached to a string. Roach, what is like the built-in restaurant for the Roly Poly arcade?
Oh yes.
It's definitely it's a like a Tex-Mex thing. It's like a very fake, authentic Mexican, so probably a little bit offensive, and I won't get into the details of the marketing, but you can imagine. But we'll say the thing that serves as a carnaditos, whatever the carnaditos is, which is some sort of horrible like wrapped and smushed and flattened and rewrapped, and then it's just out all day on like a roller fry, like 7-Eleven style. So sort of like a thing you'd get at 7-Eleven, but somehow larger.
Oh, it's like
and
all
worse.
rolled up.
Yeah. And maybe it has different flavors. Like there's like there's like a jardinara flavor, and there's also like a weird sweet flavor, like a cherry snow cone flavor carnaditos.
It's giving me Cece's Pizza. If any of y'all are familiar with that.
Can we get a name for the restaurant?
I think let's say
I mean, Roly Frijoles is already
Roly
out
Frijoles is the name of the restaurant. Yeah, I think that makes sense, right?
And Dylan, can you give me like one big like play feature that Roly Poly arcade is like known for? Like a big ball pit or one of the big jungle gyms, like something that's like that's what I go there for.
I was actually gonna say, it's a massive ball pit, but each one of the plastic balls is like an injection molded roly poly that's curled up.
Yes.
So
that's
it's like
so
deeply thematic.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not gonna draw all these little, but it's full of these like strangely like bug like. They're not even brightly colored. They're just kind of gross and dull. They're like, it's authentic that way.
And they're like oddly greasy to the touch.
Yeah, well, they've been sitting there for a while, so I'd imagine the plastic is starting to break down just a little bit, so they don't quite flow like they used to. Nice. I'm putting in the big dog ski ball really quickly.
That's terrifying.
And then there's also like a number of like typical arcade machines and little like ride contraptions. All around. There's also normal things like a bathroom and all that good stuff, but we don't have to worry about that on the map. So opening up, the camera pans in and does like a quick shot of each of the things we kind of just described, all brightly colored, and actually covered in animals. So small animals are kind of interacting with all of these things in their own way. Each of them kind of wears a roly-poly coin like on their head, kind of kept on with a rubber band, and they're playing. It takes a couple of them to like operate one joystick, and they're all going at it. As you come in, what kind of hits you first is like you guys, your burrow operates with as little power as possible to try and make it last as long as you can, because batteries are scarce. Once you use them, they're kind of done. So you guys try to do the best that you can to not use too much electricity. Every light possible and every sound and speaker that they could possibly have turned on and it almost hits all of you guys at the same time, where it's like, well, no wonder we can't do anything in the burrow. A mouse stands at the door wearing, the little cap, and he's like, all right, welcome to the roly-poly arcade. What can I do for you?
Dylan immediately looks around and he's blinded by the lights, and he says, good Lord, it's like the mythical city of Las Vegas in here.
Yeah, well, we like to have a nice time, so we turn everything on all the time.
Yeah, but it's like, if you don't have a job, are you ever really on vacation? I guess it doesn't really matter, but we're here because of the lights. It's sort of like a, I don't know if we're doing a public nuisance thing. I don't mean to be like that person. It's just next door. It's kind of obvious. Okay, well, maybe we could have the conversation a different way then, Mouse.
Yeah, we can. We like to have a nice time. We're having a nice time, right? And he turns around, and every little mouse and frog and snake, like, yeah! Like, all in unison. Like, you see their little heads pop out, the camera kind of pans, and all of them pop out from the side and zoop back in.
It's loud in here. You're loud. It's really bright. I don't really like it. This is like too much.
No, it's just enough. See, us critters, we don't live that long. My son, and he points over to like a younger mouse. He doesn't live that long. You want to tell my son he can't have a nice time before he's dead? And one long mouse arm stretches out and grabs his son off of like the arcade. It's like, go on, tell him. Tell my son he can't have a good time before he's dead.
Hey kid, you can't have a good time before you're dead.
You don't gotta hear that junk. Don't you say that to my son, never. We can have a good time. We're not around for a long time. We're going to have a nice time. You can have a nice time here. You can have a bad time somewhere else.
I mean, I think it's really a question of like what having a good time means. Like the hedonists classically, like it was going head to head with a philosophy that was sort of saying the same thing in different direction.
All right. Hold on. Everybody's talking. They're whipping their mouths around, yipping and yapping. They got the sounds coming out, but nobody's actually saying anything. Now listen here, little fella. We're from next door. We also want to have a good time, but we're trying to help. We're trying to help other critters. We're trying to feed the masses. You know what I'm saying? We're trying to give food. We're trying to give life. We're trying to make sure that people keep on livin out here in this crazy world that we're all sharing together under one roof. But the problem is that y'all are taking up all the power. How are we supposed to run our ovens? How are we supposed to feed the mouths of the starving? How are we supposed to support our community when you're taking up everything? Now surely you could cut back a little. We could share. We could come to some kind of agreement. What do you think of that?
I think that's interesting because we here at the Roly Poly Arcade also like to feed the masses with entertainment, with a lovely good time before they expire. So fine, you can feed their mouths. We also got the Roly Free Holy. We feed our family too, but we also feed their soul. Are you feeding souls? Because we're feeding souls. And it sounds like you don't want everybody's soul to be fed. Doesn't that what it sounds like? And he turns back and everyone goes, yeah, I like my soul fed. And it kind of, you hear it like kind of echo. People are like chattering to each other. I like my soul fed too.
Dylan turns to Mac and says, I don't know. I don't think this boy's right. Is there someone else we could talk to?
Oh, you talking about the big guy? You want to talk to the big guy?
I suppose so.
Like, how big is he?
He wants to talk to the big guy. You hear that? And he turns to the guy next to him. He wants to talk to the big guy. He wants to talk to the big guy. Yeah. And this like tree branch of like mocking you essentially of like the big guy. He can talk to the big guy. Kind of echoes out and goes out into multiple branches where different parts of the arcade are all saying the same thing. And he says, I'd like to see you try. I'd like to see you he's just a big scary guy. We came from a long ways to be here. And how do you think we survived? With the big guy. So you want to go tell him that we can't have a nice time and you want to step on his toes? You know what, friend? By all means, go on. Go talk to the big guy. See how that goes for you.
Tony, can Roach have been scurried off to steal something while that was all happening? The monologue
Yeah,
about
yeah.
big guyness?
He's not even... Yeah, that's fine.
Great. Do you want to
What
make
are you
me
trying
roll
to
or
grab?
no? Can I roll to either? Do I need to sneak, and also can I roll noggin to find something valuable to steal while we're being intimidated?
I'll say that there's so much going on right here where he's like kind of focused on getting his point across to Dylan that you were able to sneak off, but you are going to have to roll to see, I guess, specifically what you're looking for.
Am I rolling noggin with a +1 to find essentially battery? We're here for batteries, right? Ultimately.
Yeah, you can try to find some batteries.
Or something like that, right? Like we're trying to figure out the technical situation. Okay, the electrical. All right, I'm rolling D10. I got a 4 + 1. That's a 5.
Yeah, you don't find any like small batteries or anything lying around. You can put together that from kind of scrapping around looking where you think you would normally find batteries. You see that a lot of the like electrical cables all seem to kind of twist and wind to one location. So while you were lifting them up and looking and digging behind things, they all seem to kind of like spider web together, kind of to the further. Let me draw like a spot where they're all kind of coming back.
So I think that whole time then I'm just doing recon and I come back at the end, and as the little guy's yelling about the big guy to Dylan, and Mac is still terrified. Roach just comes back like wiping dust off of her 3 sets of hands or whatever. And as you just hear her resuming the monologue about like, more accurately, I guess what we're really trying to communicate to the guy, however his size, I don't see how this plays in, is that you need to think differently about how you approach life. So we're really trying to really address that in a more substantial way. And it feels like you're not. You're sort of responding to respond and not responding to have a conversation.
Okay, yeah. Wise guy, I get it. You can go talk to the big guy, and maybe you get squished, maybe you don't. I don't know. I don't care. I'm the door guy. Go talk to the big guy.
Oh, I didn't know we were talking to a dormouse.
What's that supposed to mean? I'm the door guy. Now I'm just the dormouse to you?
Well, yeah, I mean, you don't got to take it personally. It was just a cracking little joke there, buddy.
Okay, you know what? That's fine. I like to have a nice time. That was a good joke. I'm sorry. I lost my joyful life there for just a second.
You scared me.
Yeah, go ahead. And he's like, hey, escort guy. And a different mouse that looks exactly the same comes over. Same voice. Yeah, I'm the escort guy. I'm going to take you to the big guy. And it's just like one slightly larger mouse. And he says, all right, right this way. Don't try nothing funny along the way because we're just going to go see the big guy. He's going to squash you. And then we're going to go back to using all the power.
All right.
You guys are, like, the entrance is here. You've been talking to the dormouse, like, about here. And the escort guy is starting to take you further to, I guess, the west, towards where some of the larger machines are, past the big snoot machine. And to your right is, like, this, for you guys, because you guys are, like, maybe a foot tall, the ball pit is, like, 3 or 4 feet tall before like the top of it. So you're just looking up at this big mound. Occasionally the balls kind of fly off the side and they tumble down like big meteors. Yeah, you guys are walking through. It's the loudest, brightest, most like energetic thing that you guys have been faced with before. A number of critters of all different variety, different little like frogs and birds chirp away as they're playing. They kind of eye you, all also wearing the little token hat, and smile down at you. They're oblivious to what's kind of going on.
Mac is covering her big quokka ears and just kind of chewing and wide-eyed and looking at everything and sniffing the air like, I can't focus in here.
Can everybody give me an instinct check?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have a D8 for instinct. I rolled a 6.
Mac got a 1.
Mac is oblivious, just focused on how bright everything is, and is just trying to make their way through the noise. Roach as well. Roach is actually taking in it with a bit more joy, I would think. You tell me, Roach.
Yeah, I mean, I think she's always in her mind she's quietly judging, but she's literally saying everything she thinks out loud as she thinks it. So it's not really. I mean, she's quiet, but it's it is audibly judging everyone around her.
Dylan, you are taking in the surroundings. You guys are making your way. You're kind of turning the bend now on the ball pit, and kind of taking everything in. You notice a distinctly empty spot on the stage where it looks like one of those funky-looking robot animals used to be. And from your right, from underneath like the dark pits of the ball pit, it's kind of up, it's raised up just a tiny bit. You hear, hey, 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 you, I need your help.
Good lord. So we're still with the escort guy.
He's like a, I don't know, a couple paces in front of you, and he's just proudly walking through. His little coin kind of bounces as he walks.
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to have heard like this deep, somewhat like mechanical voice, kind of robot-y. If I could do that to my voice, I would.
Sure. Yeah.
Coming from underneath the ball pit, he's like, "Hey, don't let him see you, but I need your help."
Yeah, Mac zips over.
Yeah, Dylan kind of like looks around,
Yeah.
makes sure nobody's watching, and like maybe like saunters over by the ball pit, pretending like he's tying his shoes that he's not wearing because armadillos don't need shoes.
Yeah,
but,
you
know,
bend
like,
down super inconspicuously.
yeah, super conspicuously.
Mac, are you moving with the same kind of tact, or are you just like, no, I'm gonna go see what it is?
Fast enough that it's unnoticeable.
Sure. Both of you guys make your way over, and the camera kind of follows your head as it tilts down, and you see from underneath these big yellow kind of robotic eyes and kind of a big smile. It's like, please let them turn me off. I just want to be turned off.
Off?
Yeah, off. I haven't been turned off in a month. I have to go to sleep.
You haven't been sleeping?
No, look. And then like he's trying to show you that his eyes don't blink. Like he can't close them when they're on. And he's like, look. You can't really make out all of it, but it seems to be some kind of face, two big eyes, and some kind of mouth that kind of makes some eerie noises. The guy in front of you is going to make an instinct check to see if he is able to kind of pick up that you guys have stopped off. He keeps on walking happily.
Yeah, I'm with him also.
Yeah, he turns back real quick and just hears Roach kind of still talking. And is like, all right, cool, they're still here. Roach and Escort Mouse have made their way. There's like an access door to, I guess, like the staff area.
Yeah, so it's funny about hot dogs. Hot dogs aren't dogs. So, I mean, I guess it's just one of those weird things. Would you feel worse eating it if you did know it was a dog? But also, like, do we eat pigs? I mean, I haven't seen a pig in a while.
No, I don't think so. I don't think that deeply about anything. I just like to have a good time at the arcade. And as he's saying that, he's opening he's candidly having a conversation with you. He's not trying to brush you off. He's like, no, I just don't think about stuff like that. And he opens the door to the staff to the back.
I don't think I've noticed that Dylan and Mac aren't just like way behind us.
No.
Nice. Subterfuge worked.
Unintentional, yeah.
Yeah, unintentional subterfuge. I think Dylan looking into the ball pit is just like, good lord, what kind of creature are you?
I'm not
what kind of critter are you?
I'm not a critter. I was a dancing thing, and I've danced for a long time. And at some point, they pushed me off the stage, and I can't really dance down here. And you hear like clink, clink, clink as he's trying to like move his arms. I can't dance down here, but
Plastic
I also
balls
can't
flying.
sleep.
Yeah, Mac
I
is
need your
sniffing. You don't smell like a critter. What's your name?
Oh, my name? Roach, what's this thing's name?
Let's say, I don't want to say ballsy, but maybe Mr. Pitt. I think it's got it's like there were 500 of these made in a factory in Japan in 1985 or something. So it's like Mr. Pitt number 75 or something.
Sweet. And he's like, my name's Mr. Pitt. I used to be up on the stage dancing. I had balls that would come out of my chest, and and I'd shoot him into the pit. I can't do that anymore. Now I'm under the pit.
Mr. Pitt,
Yeah,
Mr. Pitt.
now you're in the pit.
How do we make you go to sleep?
Well, you see, and you can't see because it's dark, but it sounds like he's turning around. And there's this long wire that runs out from under my foot and back into the room. If you could just cut it or pull it or something, the big guy, he's in charge of all that. You'd have to work with him or not. He might not want you to. I don't know.
Now, Mr. Pitt, who's this big guy? Is he bigger than you? Because you seem awfully large to me.
I am quite big, yes. He's about my size, but he's very scaly and spiky. He has funky colored eyes, and he's not that nice of a guy. It's quite scary. Yeah.
Scary, scaly, and spiky. What do you think about that, Mac?
I don't know, but I think it might solve both our problems.
Yeah, it seems like we have a common cause, a common enemy. Even perhaps some collusion is called for in this case, Mr. Pitt. Now, is there anything you can do to move out of this here ball apparatus that you found yourself stuck in?
See, I'm quite scared to move out because they shoved me off the thing. I was their least favorite big dancing guy. And so they pushed me down. In the ruckus, I crawled up under. I could probably make my way back out, but I was designed to stand there. I'd probably just be a crawling dancing guy.
Well, surely with your automaton strength and will to sleep, perhaps you could crawl out and make a bit of a distraction for us. Maybe cause some chaos, some destruction here in this wonderland of sin and debauchery that they call the arcade.
If you can get them to let me sleep, I'll put on the best performance you've ever seen.
I promise you, brother, after you perform today, you're going to get the best night's sleep of your life.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it. You give me this. Well, what's going to be the signal? And its eyes kind of shift over to Mac. What will the signal be for when I got to put on the show?
It's and it's gonna be really loud, and
Okay.
it's gonna be that. And Mac points at the giant snoot game.
It's like, oh yeah, that's my favorite.
When that one wins the jackpot, the highest score.
Okay, awesome, perfect. I'll keep my eyes on.
Now, Mac, I don't want to cast doubt upon you, but how are we going to win the high score here?
I don't know.
There is this frog kind of hops over to you guys, and he's just like in a show. You guys, the shot is like from in front of you guys, both crouched down, but the frog comes up behind you. It's like, hey guys, who are we talking to?
No, but hey, Mac, what do you think of these balls? They're pretty cool balls. And Dylan like whips out his small slinky that he kind of wears on his right arm. He like whips it out as though it were a whip, and it like moves some of the balls over the robot's face so that he can't be seen.
Sure, make a scurry check to make sure that all kind of goes according to plan.
Hey, yeah, D10 and then +2 for scurry. I got a 12 total.
Yeah, beautiful. With a 12 total, it whips out and like the whoosh sound effect comes with it as well. The balls roll perfectly into place as though keyframed in on purpose to land right in front of both eyes. That's amazing.
Mac answers you earnestly. I think they're kind of dirty.
Yeah, with the whip, a bit of like decades old like dust and like kid gunk just kind of like flicks off as they roll into place. They
It's like melted cheese.
Kind of squelch. Yeah, exactly. Melted cheese peels off as it's turning its final. It kind of stops in place on the melted cheese bit.
Taquito crumbs.
Yeah. The frog's like, all right, well, if y'all aren't talking to anybody, why don't you skedaddle? Because you're looking kind of weird just talking to the wall there.
Oh yeah, sure.
Mac gotta go fast, and grabs Dylan's arm and scurries to the door.
Well, like I said, I gotta go fast. Bye-bye.
And the frog is like, All right. He just turns around and goes back to what he's doing. The Roach. Roach, you are in the room. You hear the door kind of like creak behind you. You're in what is like an employee's like locker room almost. There's a set of lockers. I can draw this. There's a set of lockers off to the left. And there is another door to the right, like a big garbage can here. It's mostly empty. There's like a bench, and one table, or one chair and a table, and that's where all the employees share their lunch.
Would you say there's a guy here, and is that guy big?
No, there are no big guys. There is another smaller guy, and as you enter the room, there's an even smaller mouse than the escort guy, and he's like, "Hi, I'm the break room guy. I'm here to make sure the break room stays free from all kinds of scraps and scrumbles. So make sure that nothing happens in here that could potentially lead to the downfall of the roly-poly arcade." And you two are alone in the arcade. All of the wires that I was talking about earlier, the door kind of doesn't close all the way as it bounds off of like 8 inches around of like extension cords and cables that are just all jumbled up and wrapped together with like tickets.
So if we needed to do an action movie, like Let's Cut the Power, we could just literally, I don't know, like slam the door or get a steak knife or something.
Yeah. Potentially. The door kind of slams on him a little bit, but doesn't close all the way. You guys are in like this intermediary room. The smaller break room mouse is like, "All right, this is the door to the big guy." And scrawled in animalish is like, "The big guy," on the door over. Guy. Yeah, the big guy over what would have been like a little manager's plaque.
Yeah, I love your neo-sincere, like ultra-literal style you have going on. Like, you're the break room guy. It's the big guy door. You missed a door at the bottom of big guy. Anyway, can we just like maybe go in there?
Yeah, so you can go in there. Where's and at this point, your the escort guy, like, where's all the friends at? Where's your 2 other dudes? And he's looking around really quick.
I don't know, people say I'm cerebral, but I think a lot of other animals just get distracted by bright lights. And I mean, no offense, but you've kind of set up this place as like a monument of distractions. It's kind of like if those 7 wonders were like themed around different affects instead of like really big things from dead civilizations. And I don't know. Anyway, it's just...
As Roach is going on this tirade, Mac and Dylan both like zip into the room as quickly, like, you know, like comically fast,
like behind the escort, kind of like doing that kind of mirroring them as they like turn that. Looking around.
You guys
for us.
Both give me a scurry check.
I got an 8.
I'm really sorry, my scurry is not so good, but I did get a 5.
Sweet. Dylan does this flawlessly, just kind of eases back into frame. Mac tries to get back into frame, but kind of stumbles out and actually catches the attention of the escort guys. Like, "Where were you? What was that? That wasn't that smooth."
"Your frog friend over there is very nice."
"Oh yeah, he was a nice guy, Mr. Frog. I like him. Yeah, he's a good guy. Always keeping everybody on their toes."
Dylan turns around and acts like he's been in the room the whole time. Be like, "Oh, Mac, I didn't see you come in there. Hey, where are these wires here lead, buddy?"
"Oh, these are for the power."
Yes. Where do they lead to now?"
"Oh, well, if you just look." And he like points as like this big 8-inch round like cable mass literally like snakes into a big hole that's been like gnawed at through the big boss door. So that it can close all the way, but now it has this big hole in the bottom of it for the wires to go through.
Nice.
Right there.
All right. Well, I guess we're going in the boss room.
Okay. The big guy.
The big guy room.
The big guy. All right. It was nice knowing you. Yeah, it was nice knowing you while you were in the break room.
He better not be another small guy.
What do you think? We just have an infinitely long hallway full of smaller and smaller guys until there's no more smaller it can go?
Yeah. I can't lie. It's starting to feel that way.
No, that'd be absurd and take forever. And the smaller mouse kind of motions over to the escort guy, and the escort guy kind of bends down, and the escort guy climbs on his back and like Rick picks backward and sends up the break room guy hurling through the air to grab onto the door handle and kink. And you watch them like hang on to it as it opens. You guys are now standing just outside of the big guy's office.
New area unlocked, guys.
Yeah. As they're walking in, Mac is like sort of criticizing the method.
You know, Roach, your method of pulleys is much better, much less work. All we have to do is pull on that walnut, and then
Yeah, I mean, not everyone bothered to learn a lot about what humans were doing before, which, like, I totally get. It's like, you know, if you had, like, a really messy ex and you had some good times, do you really want to dwell on the good times? It doesn't really make sense because you're dwelling on the bad that came after that. But in this case, I mean, some of the things the humans did, like pizza or pulleys, a lot of P words for some reason are striking me today. Pistachios. I don't know if humans, like, did pistachios. I don't want to give them too much credit there, but I guess, like, seeding the germline across... Anyway.
So, yeah,
Mac found a stick to chew on and he went,
Arbor is better.
You guys are in the sound. A couple of rooms removed now of the arcade is slightly muffled. In the big guy's room, you hear the sound of something like thud against the door to kick it back closed, and you can hear the mouse kind of fall from the handle and kind of splat down on the ground really quick. You are looking up. The camera is like really down low to you guys. The three of you kind of like in this array, looking up at this big desk. And all you can see from your vantage point are like these two big alligator claws kind of just like held together like so. And you hear this booming voice like, "So I heard you wanted to talk to the big guy."
In that moment, there's like a Hitchcock zoom on the three of you know, where it like zooms in, but also gets further. Yeah, it's like the wow.
Yeah, really exaggerates the difference in height. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be really helpful if you had a name tag that said big guy and it was in really big letters.
Is it you? Are you the big guy?
That's right. I'm the big guy. You see how big I am? And the camera like also almost like helps him and like draws this little dotted line appears on screen to show off how you guys are and how big his hands are in the shot.
It doesn't cut away an interstitial where it's just like a graph.
It's a size comparison, yeah.
or the three of them are standing together and they're all three looking up at the same time at the sheer scale and kind of almost fall backwards.
Yeah.
Classic.
I love that.
Of course, I'm the big guy. They call me Big Notch. It's short for Fibonacci Marinara. That's the name.
Fibonacci marinara.
Yeah, that's me. I come from a long ways to run the arcade, and now you want to come in and bring problems. Is that what it is?
Well, I wouldn't say that we're bringing problems, but we do have some concerns.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
no, we do have some concerns. We have questions, really, I guess. Really wanted to open like a parlay conversation type situation.
Sure. Why don't you all come up here? And from around the corner of, so this is like the desk. You guys are here. And from around the corner of the desk, there are, I'm sorry.
A real critter.
A real critter.
Yeah, the real big guy.
Yeah.
You see... you're familiar with scorpions, but you've never seen a scorpion tail that is U-sized. So the like pincer, pointy, prickly end. There's probably a better biological term for that. But you know, the big pointy end of a scorpion's tail snakes around the edge of this desk, the biggest that you've seen, and kind of lowers itself down to your feet. And in time with Big Notch's voice, like, "All right, step up." And the little pointer kind of like eggs you guys to like step onto his tail.
It's called a Telson, by the way.
The Telson eggs you guys on and motions for you to ride the Telson elevator.
Can we roll instinct? I'm going to suggest others roll because I'm pretty oblivious, but to see if this is an obvious trap or any kind of trap.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. One sec. I need to.
I got a 6.
Technical manage
my
something.
D6.
I'll be right. Right.
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
Wait, what are we? I can roll.
Roll instinct. Roach is trying to see if they can't make out whether or not this is clearly like a trap.
Yeah. Is this just like, oh, we're going to get killed no matter what we do?
Wow, I rolled an 8.
Great.
Yeah. I'll say that with Big Mac gone, Big Mac is gonna probably follow your guys' lead with seeing that it seems like it's safe enough. It doesn't seem like it's an immediate, like you're going to get squashed as soon as you step on, or you're going to get like pricked. Seems like he genuinely wants to talk to you guys a little bit further.
Excellent.
Okay.
Then yeah, I'd step on.
So you guys step onto, I already forgot what the name of the thing was, but you step onto the elevator, and it slowly brings you guys up. And
just to recap, Jen, we checked it's safe to get on this guy's tail, so we're going up the elevator.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Another camera shot that's like hard locked on you guys that is following and panning directly straight up with you guys, following you as you see every little wooden crack in the desk, and it pans all the way forward to, I have a drawing here, I promise. Oh, it's just not in frame. All the way up, and you see this massive alligator. He's wearing like these big, like white kind of cardboard glasses. One's really tinted blue, the other one really tinted red. This almost comically sized tie that he wears over his front, and he's posing very, very goofy with his big mangly alligator claws together. This like really daunting, tense music plays as you guys are lowered back down onto the table. And he's like, "So, what were your concerns?"
Well, sir, now face to face, Dylan is not feeling so confident. Like his normal kind of confidence when dealing with critters his size or smaller has kind of melted away a bit. He's like, well, sir, we...
Mac steps in front of you. Just kind of
help me out, Mac.
Just matter-of-factly, just chewing on a stick.
Well, our burrow is next door, and we have been here first, and we like to help other critters. And well, we're not able to do that because you're taking up all the power.
Yeah,
Where'd you come from anyway?
Well, from some other place on the other side of, I guess, wherever we are. We don't know about geographical locations, but we also have the accents typical of them. I don't know how it works. I just do.
So I think it's not fair to say, that you're providing all of this stuff for other people, but we were here first. And
Mac is just chewing and getting closer and closer and closer.
Roach has disappeared. I think the last thing you heard her say is, "I'm from Boston," and she's just so as Mac rearranged in front of Dylan, Roach went behind Dylan because I think rolling a 6 on instinct finally was like a wake up that like, what the hell am I doing? Like, she's like a genuinely nice person, but is like, oh my god, I am definitely just gonna get eaten by an alligator. This is dumb, and I'm trying to get away from this alligator and just hide essentially. While
where would you like to hide? I'll say that his desk is like scattered with like a mug and like papers and all kinds of like goofy desk things.
Definitely.
Or are you just trying to get off the desk?
Yeah, going around the mug and just breathing through however roaches breathe. I think they have like, slits in their side or whatever. Just like
don't they squish down too?
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to like roaches. When you just see a roach in a dark room, it's like, what is it? It could be anything. Anyway, please don't let me stop your parlay.
Big Notch lowers his big alligator head down a little bit, and he gets really close to I guess to the two that are still standing there. He's kind of you could see like his eyes kind of watch Roach saunter off, and doesn't even care. And he's like, "But which one of you is the leader? Who's the big guy to talk to? I'm the big guy you're talking to. Who's the big guy I'm talking to?"
Well, I'm not so big.
And then Mac looks up and kind of back
at Dylan.
At Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan is still feeling a little bit shaken, but he's like, well, I suppose, and he kind of, how armadillos, they've got like their carapace thing. It could kind of be like suspenders, kind of like tugs on them, like a genteel Southern lawyer. Says, well, I suppose I'm the big guy here. I'm at least the biggest in this group, you see. Listen, Big Notch. there's too much power being used up here. We can't sustain life in our burrows. And we talk to your friends. We talk to the door guy. We talk to the break room guy. We talk to the escort guy. And we know that y'all are here to have a good time, put a smile on everybody's face. But
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
it can only last so long. And we're trying to run an operation next door. We're trying to have lots of animals come through, try to live, and maybe if you could just cut back on your usage, if you just share a little bit with your neighbors. We're happy to share. We're happy to have you in the neighborhood. We're happy to have the entertainment, if you will. However, it comes at a cost, and it's costing us, and that's what I'm trying to say to you here now.
Big Notch is gonna lean in really, really close to Dylan, like uncomfortably close. You can feel like the warmth of the alligator, and he's like, I gotta tell you something.
What's that?
I'm tired. I'm tired of the power being on all the time. These little guys out there, that little guy, the little guy in the other room, and all the little guys in the other room. I'm a tired guy. I'm a big guy. I gotta sleep. But they won't let me go to sleep. They won't let me stop. I'm in charge of this whole thing, and they keep it running all the time, and they don't ever let me stop. I'm a good guy. I don't want you guys to not be able to feed the other good guys. I'm a softie. I got a heart of gold. Literally, look. And he like rips open, and it's like a literal like shining heart of gold. I'm a nice guy. I promise. I wouldn't hurt nobody. But those guys out there, they think that they want to hurt everybody. I helped them get here, and they're nice enough. They like to have a nice time. I like to party. I'm a cool guy. Look at my glasses. But sometimes you gotta relax. I'm on board, but those other guys, they're not gonna be on board. So maybe if we could, I don't know, show them that maybe that you do need to relax. Maybe you're not the top of the food chain all the time. You know what I mean? Maybe we bring them down a notch, if you know what I'm trying to say.
Mac comes up, the snout is like this way looking at Dylan, and
Yeah.
Mac pops up slowly, like over the side.
You got a big snout. You're a big guy. You really can't stand up to all those little guys out there. You're the big guy.
No, and he cuts to like holding a pointer at that scene from Bug's Life where Hopper is telling them that all of the ants working together is going to kill all the grasshoppers if they all work together. He's like, that's what's going to happen to me. They got it right that one movie. I can't go out there and tell all those little guys that I'm not going to be working for them no more. To think I'm protecting them. I can't protect them. I don't want to hurt nobody. I like to have a nice time. But now, you guys are saying you're having a problem. I want to lay down. I want to, move on to broader horizons. But I'm kind of trapped here. That guy out there, he's not very nice. He's talking about, he's like pointing towards the escort door guy and the break room guy. They're not that nice to me. And I would do something, but there's a lot of them in one of me. But perhaps if we could, I don't know, show them that there's some tougher bugs out there, for lack of a better way to put it. Maybe that would put them in their place. We could turn off the power. We could work out some kind of schedule. And then that way it's your idea. You showed me up, and I work with you, and everybody gets to keep doing what they're doing.
All right. I think we need a little sidebar here. Roach, Mac, why don't we have a little private conversation?
Yeah, having heard that actually Alligator is a big softie, Roach just wheels naturally back in like she's been there the whole time. Tony, was there anything to steal along the way while I was hiding like a horrible coward?
What are you looking for?
Anything that a Roach could carry on the desk. Anything shiny, dangerous, rare.
Yeah, there was a pin. It was like World's Best Boss.
Great.
And it's like a I think in the rule it's called like a 3-inch pin. It can be used like as a shield almost.
Is that a SP1 or SP2?
I would call it like an SP2.
Okay, then I drop.
Are you looking for like you're looking for like an SP1?
No, I'll take World's Best Boss pin.
Okay. Is it like a lapel pin? Is that what you're saying?
Pen?
Yeah, it has like a pointy bit on the back.
PIN?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Button.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm now wearing it on my back, and with no explanation. But yeah, I've dropped in its place wherever it was. I dropped my 1 SP of mystery garbage slop that I'd been munching on, or I just finished eating it or whatever, and I wheel back in.
So we need to put on a play, like a play where we like take over, something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I think that could work. I'm open to that. It seems like he's willing to participate with us. What do you think, Mag?
I think all those other critters in there are overstimulated. I think they haven't slept either. They haven't eaten, and they probably have worse eyesight.
Well, I don't know about their eyesight, but they sure are a grumpy group, so you're probably right. They haven't slept
They
at
just
all.
need a nap.
What if it was an accident? Just the power goes out. Oops, nobody's fault.
Just,
that could-
listen, I tried that. I tried just, oops, bumping in my big body into the wire. You know what happened? I have 500 little mice coming in telling me I got to put the power back on or they're going to eat me alive. I don't want to do that again. And so I plugged it back in. So I don't think that just yoinking it is going to work. Also, I like my position. I just need a break. I don't want to not be the big guy. I like
You
being
are
the
rather
big guy.
large, yeah. No, that's not going to go away, I don't think, for a while at least. You know, you shrink a little as you age.
So
but
we
it's
gotta
fine.
find a way where I'm still seen as competent, but those guys want to take a break. Some kind of competition, maybe, where they lose, their zeal, where they're like, yeah, we lost. They're really fond of that big old ugly dog thing out there.
You mean beat them at their own game?
Exactly. That's very smart. What a wise way to put it. Very succinct.
Oh, interesting. So
Mac
maybe
is looking for a pat on the head and is like straightening up their spine.
Oh yeah, sure. Let me crawl up your back and give you a pat on the head. That's a good idea. Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah.
A big notch is like, okay, yeah. So whatever you decide, I'll come out there. I'll put on a big show. Say that I'm gonna allow them to challenge you guys in whatever game. Like I said, they like the big dog game, but if you want a different game, by all means, challenge them to a different game.
I got a better idea for you, Big Notch.
Tell me.
You're going to be a competitor as well. We're going to
Oh,
go out
boy.
there. We're going to say that we placed a bet. We're going to solve this like civilized people. The only way that's truly civilized is to gamble
Gambling,
randomly.
yeah, of course. Everyone knows that about humans. Yeah, our whole society was built on random wagers. Very weird.
That's what I heard too. Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds right.
This is Chris, not Dylan, talking. Yeah, that's horrible and dark,
Is it?
but
Yeah, but
Hey.
speculative finance, yeah.
it turns out. So yeah, just like the humans of old, we're gonna plan a little wager. However, also like the humans of old, it's gonna be fixed. We're gonna
Right.
play them like a fiddle. We're gonna play them like a fiddle, Big Notch. You're gonna come out there and you're gonna say that you have challenged us to a game. Whoever wins gets control of the power. Now
like
listen,
that. Yeah.
if and when we win, because again, this is fixed.
I'm
Don't
gonna
forget that.
lose. I'm
You're gonna
gonna
lose. You're gonna
lose.
throw the game. All right, we're on
That's
the same
right.
page.
I'm
That's
not
why I
gonna
like
give
you.
it my all. That's right. Yeah.
That's why I like you, Big Notch. You're fast. You're smart. You're cunning. You got it going
It's
on
the
up
glasses.
there.
They help.
Yeah. You see the world in 3 dimensions. Something that I don't
Exactly.
think a lot of us critters can do.
I don't think that's how optical physics works, but go on.
You'll throw the game. We're gonna win, and then we get to set the rules around the power. We get to we'll take care of those mice for you.
Yeah, that sounds like a fair deal, and I think all of them chumps out there, they'll go for it. So, okay,
All
so
right.
here's my side of the plan now. I'm gonna get up, I'm gonna make a bunch of noise like I'm super angry, and I'm gonna eat you. Then I'm gonna listen. Here's the deal. Instead, I'm gonna put on a show, and then when it's your time to do your thing, we're gonna waltz on out there. We're gonna play the Snoop game. I'm gonna lose. Everybody's happy.
I love it.
Okay, perfect. And for your help, because you are helping me out a little bit here, I'm going to get to take a bit of a break. Before you end up leaving, take any one thing that you guys would want individually from the prize wall. There's a lot of cool stuff up there on the prize wall. Take a thing. There's got the big hammer. They got all kinds of light up stuff and the little dots. Whatever you'd like.
That sounds
For
like a
helping,
deal.
for helping Big Notch out. This is the least I can do. And so he puts a big alligator paw up to his glasses, and he's like, "All right, here's the time." And he tips it down. And he winks, the big alligator wink, And he's like, "Oh, you little quitters! You got me so angry. Oh, I'm just gonna." He stops like, "Guys, make some noise like you're scared."
Rhubarb.
I never finished writing my memoirs.
I'm a nice guy. I'm not a big bad gross
really
guy.
start
So I'm gonna do
writing
something really smart and elaborate. I'm gonna play a game against you, and you're not gonna win because I'm gonna win the game. Let's get out there and do it.
Oh, I'm so scared of you.
Yeah,
That
you're
seems
on.
fair.
You really are a big guy.
And he's like, "All right, and then for the finale." And he bangs on the table, and you guys all kind of jump up. Can you guys all make a scurry check to make sure you safely make it back down to the ground and aren't just like rocketed
Just
up
thrown.
through the ceiling?
6.
Six.
Mac got a 4.
I got a 7.
Both Roach and Dylan take the fall and like the airtime pretty gracefully. Dylan, if you would like to do like a rad trick in the air, you do have the time to pull off like a sick flip.
I think I paraglide with the button.
Sweet. Dylan, I don't know if you heard, but you have time in the air if you want to pull off like a really cool trick before landing.
So the trick that I'm going to pull off while in the air, I'm actually going to use one of my animal talents right now. I'm going to use scoot shedding, which is free. I can use it once per day. I can peel off a small chunk or a scoot of my shell and temporarily grant +2 DR to another animal. So while in the air, Dylan notices that Mac is flailing and isn't going to land properly. So he takes off a little scoot and throws it underneath Mac in order to give them a little bit of extra padding when they hit the ground.
Sweet. Yeah. Dylan lands, scoot flies through the air. The camera is following it as it glides directly under Mac. Mac, you are now able to land more gracefully. How would you like to incorporate? How would you like to incorporate the scoot into your landing?
Oh, it's gonna be a twirl and surf like I'm on a leaf.
Sweet. You could grab the end of it and like woo on the way down.
Ooh, extra fast.
There's a sting of surf music bass.
Yeah.
The surf music is gonna play us out to where we're already out in front of the big snoot machine, and it kind of cuts to woo yeah, a bunch of smaller critters all huddled around the big snoot ski ball. And they're all cheering, and their little gold coins on their head are kind of bouncing around. There's like this big audience shot where there's like way too many. Like the arcade is way bigger than it was initially. And it's just like this audience full. There's like bleachers and stands. There's like big studio lights that are beaming down and kind of focused in on the big snoot ski ball. Big Notch is like 9 foot tall, standing upright. And you guys are barely a foot, so it's just this absurd shot of this huge guy standing next to you guys.
That stretchy sound effect.
Yeah, exactly. I like to think that he walked out there on all fours because it's quicker for him, but then once he got to the ski ball, it was like this weird 90-degree where he just pivoted upright to being 9 feet tall. You guys are all standing there, and the crowd is kind of cheering you guys on, or cheering on Big Notch. And distinct in the crowd, you can hear, "He's gonna mop the floor with you. You stand no chance. He's the skee ball champion. He's gonna kill you. Yeah, he's gonna squash you." The kid from earlier that you told was gonna die soon is like, "Yeah, rip their hearts out, stomp on them, and eat them."
Well, that seems excessive. I don't know if I.
That kid's not right.
He's like, "I'm gonna die soon. I don't gotta be polite." And
I feel like you're dwelling on death in a really weird way. I don't know. This is a lot going on.
Yeah, these mice have a weird YOLO philosophy that I don't know if I quite agree with.
Yeah, really.
There are 2 big snoot. I guess I can draw that up real quick. The 2 big snoot.
2 big sneet.
Everyone has the plural of
The
snoot.
plural of snoot is sneet. Oh, God.
The
Sorry.
big sneet skee ball machines.
That's the
All right.
name of the skee ball machine. Big
While
sneet.
you're
Big snoot,
while you're
yeah.
doing this, Mac gathers Roach and Dylan into a huddle and goes, and me, Jenn, I'm actually going to text you two.
Oh, great.
Oh, okay. You could. Oh, well, I guess Tony will see it in the
No,
private chat.
yeah.
Okay.
Separate from the GM.
Yes.
Yes.
That was
That's a yes.
that was my initial plan as well. So yeah, we're on the same page.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
I
just-
love that we're separated by the middle of the country, and you and I still have the same ideas.
I'm just trying to come up with an acronym, like a backronym for TVA, so that we have a new power authority across the two boroughs. But then it somehow
I
makes
like
sense
that.
with this like shitty Tex-Mex
Ooh,
arcade.
bureaucracy.
Yeah, exactly. So we went really different
Let's just
directions
have more bureaucracy.
Yay!
mentally.
The
there,
answer.
But, yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, I am all for Photoshop GMing now. I love this so
It
much.
just
Yeah.
requires a GM who's a professional illustrator, which
I mean, we've got
like
one
it.
up
we've
there
got
also.
we've got a couple in this call. So
Yeah.
Yeah, look at my
I
real
have done
professional work here.
I have done Procreate GMing before, which is very
That's
similar.
That's what I
cool.
normally do
This
when
is
I'm
so cool.
working from home, like
Yeah.
when I'm doing with my own players.
So for the
This is so
podcast,
funny.
Tony just whipped up two skee-ball machines side by side that are the long snouts of dogs, which are technically called, thanks Jen, snoots. And in the middle of the face
Sneat.
are the holes, or sneat is the plural, right? And then above that,
Yeah.
the eyes and the long floppy ears. And of course, there's right in the middle of the forehead where the score would be.
Yeah.
Ooh, maybe
course.
y'all can put this on Patreon and
Oh,
link in the
yeah.
show notes.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Hell yeah.
Okay, that's enough rendering for what we're doing. I'm gonna get
We
to
need
the investing.
shadows. We need texture, Tony.
Yeah.
Come on.
What about
Okay,
the
so
fur?
these are the two.
I can't really
super
feel
sweet
myself
skee-ball
in the scene.
machines.
Immersion broken.
There is. Oh, I gotta make sure that there is a ball drop off.
There you
yeah,
go.
where's the ball slot?
That's right.
There you
It
go.
wouldn't be realistic if it wasn't there.
It's the tail. The tail comes along the
Oh,
side.
you're right. There's no tail. Hold on, give me a second. So you guys are both standing. All you guys are standing in front of these. You guys are on the left snoot skee ball. So I'll say that you guys are on the ground because I'm assuming you guys are going to want to position yourselves and do something specific. Big Notch is standing here. Big dude. It's just like vertical, but I'm not going to draw him in front of my masterpiece. And there's like a little table in between where people normally would have put their drinks and their cups and like tickets and stuff. And on there stands another little mouse guy. He's like, "All right, I'm the snoot skee ball guy, mouse." And he's holding up like what would have been like a cup to hold tokens in. He's using it like as like a big megaphone.
Oh my
Nice.
god.
I love
And
that.
he's like, "All right, everybody, listen up. Here's the rules. Each opponent's gonna have 5 balls. Kind of 1, 2, 5. So there's only 3 there. And he's like, "We're gonna take turns. First, of course, Big Notch, the big guy himself. He's gonna go first. Hit the light." And he's going to roll the ball all the way down. Then it'll be these chumps. Boo. And the crowd is big, like, almost like ear-shattering. Boo.
Unnecessary.
Rings in.
Mac's doing that.
He's like, "All right, without further ado, so we stay within the time limit that we have allotted to us. Let's skee ball. Like, woo, yeah, woo.
They just start chanting like a coliseum. Snoot, snoot,
Exactly. Yeah.
Sneat, sneat, sneat.
sneet ball.
Big Notch he reaches down, he looks over to you guys, and again pulls down his big 3D glasses and winks, and he sits back up, big skee ball in hand. Big Notch is actively trying to lose, but he is actually very, very, very good at sneak ball.
Oh,
So
no.
he is gonna
It's
roll
hard.
to see how bad he can lose.
It's hard for him to lose.
Probably the only critter in the whole place that can roll with its
Yeah, probably.
extremities. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Big Notch rolled a 1 for trying to lose.
Yes.
Oh, for trying
Oh,
to
for
lose.
trying
Trying
to
to
lose. So wait.
lose.
Oh, trying to lose. Oh,
Yes,
That's not
he
good.
rolled a 1 for how bad he could fake losing. So he takes the ball and he reels back and he and the camera, like in an anime, like fire flies off the side of the skee ball It doesn't even roll up the thing. He's basically just lobbing it straight into we'll say that there's a 20, a 50, and 100 point one, right into the 100 point one. It like rockets into the back. The front of the snoot machine kind of tips up as it ricochets into the back with 100 points on the board. And he looks over with this big
Mac not quite understanding the machine itself is clapping.
Yeah. Mac's like, yeah, good job.
Good job.
Yeah, the crowd goes wild, and he kind of bends down and he goes, "I'm gonna talk some dirt real quick to him. Don't worry. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that. I'm just so good at speedball." And he stands back up. He's like, "Yeah, they suck."
So timeout. Who's representing us from our team? Double M, are you good at throwing objects? Or Dylan, you look pretty...
Do we need to work together? These things are heavy.
And Mac has already grabbed one, and it's as big as Mac's tummy.
Yeah,
Dylan,
they're a little bit big. One critter could probably like roll it, but definitely not as strong as a couple of you guys working together, or some like whatever kind of contraption or way that you guys want to work together to throw it.
Here's my suggestion. So I've got this small slinky. So what I'm thinking is that the two of you can stand on either side and hold the slinky, and then we can use it as a slingshot for the balls. And
I like it.
Not to brag or anything, but I am quite a sharpshooter. I'm quite the thrower, quite the football star back in my home state of Texas. So maybe I could do some shooting and win us this here game.
Yeah, I think that's a great plan. It just makes me think, like, did Voltron or other Gestalt robots ever play sports? Anyway,
they had to.
Yeah,
they had
right?
to. Yeah.
Presumably.
Presumably.
Just tell Mac where to go.
Double M, you
Salute.
get on the other side, I get on this side.
All right, hold this. And then, Dylan kind of, awkward with his, like, weird armadillo claw
Tiny hands.
Kind of, like,
tiny.
awkwardly, like, lifts up one of those wooden ski balls and then, like, drops it down with, like, a loud thud. And then, starts pulling back on the slinky, aiming up the shot, and then releases it.
Can I get the three of you guys to give me a scurry roll? Dylan's is definitely going to weigh more heavily into it, but I need one from all three of you.
Burn grit.
Yeah,
right.
exactly. So
I
for
should
Blister
roll
Critters
grit.
and Crit Systems games as a whole, you have a resource called Grit that you can add to any roll. Typically, this is done before you make the roll. So if you are really trying to focus in on making sure that you succeed in a roll, you have this resource that you can expend and replenish through eating food called Grit. So I would advise that if we are trying to win this game, that Grit be spent.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to burn 6 grit.
I'm
Yeah,
also going to
same.
burn 6 as well.
Same. All right.
Cool. So I got a 14 total between
Nice.
the grit and
Yes,
the...
burning 6 Grit will add 6 points to your result.
Okay, I got a 10 burning. some
Amazing.
Mac got an 11.
Amazing. Like in any of the cartoons where everyone like in a Voltron kind of thing where all the pieces kind of mesh together and click into place with a big explosion. Both sides of the slinky are holding on to it really tight. They all eye back. The camera follows the eyes to Dylan, slotting the ball into place, reeling it way back, and the camera follows and does that weird zoom effect. And it flies forward, all kinds of stretchy blur frames as it's hurtling towards the 100 slot. Once more, it doing hits the back into the 100 hole, and the whole snoot machine kind of tips backwards. You guys are kind of thrust forward a little bit before it kind of caps back down and settles in. The crowd, it goes quiet for a second. Ooh, yikes! Sneak. They get right back to it. Big Notch leans back down, and as he's leaning down, he tries to hide it behind his arm. He kind of gives you guys the thumbs up. But like anybody could have seen it, but he thinks he's hiding it. And grabs another ball.
Dylan's giving him like a don't do that.
Yeah. He's like, yeah. He's like leaning into it more. He's like, yeah. He grabs the big ball in his hand, and you watch him again turn to the other guys. And he's like, I got this. And one other time pulls it down and winks to you guys. And he's gonna wind back, and so we want him to roll high, or you guys are gonna want him to roll high.
Yeah.
He rolled a second one.
Oh my god!
He's too good. He's too good at skee ball.
Cocks back. And,
we need the dice camera on you.
Sneak. Big Notch, like this time, actively tries to whiff, but steps on like one of the like really gross Tex-Mex things that were left on the ground and slips forward and accidentally launches it right back into the 100 hole. And the gross, crunchy, fake Mexican food flies off into the crowd, and someone grabs I got Big Notch's thing. I got the Big Notch food. So 200 up. I gotta put your guys' score. 200
it's
up on the board.
With cheese and tomato like all over its face, like euphoric.
Well, I like the idea that the Carniditos and the weasel are exactly the same size and very similar in shape. And
hugging
so
it, yeah.
The weasel just like accidentally eats it all at once. You know, it's one of those weird like I don't know.
Yeah, he doesn't even catch it. He just jumps up horizontal and lets it. Yeah,
it just slots in.
Exactly.
And the weasel is now the shape of the food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like Tom and Jerry eating a wedge of cheese.
Completely unchewed, just in the body.
Like a snake.
Yeah, like a snake. Like a snake.
All cartoon animals eat like snake. Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Notch kind of stumbles forward after throwing it. Doesn't realize that it's hit the 200 spot and like looks at you guys like, see that? Yeah, sweet, good. And the crowd is going.
What's going on here?
Not good, buddy. Not good.
Timeout! Oh, we're so scared. We have to have a timeout because we're terrified.
Oh, Lord. Oh, God.
Oh, so scary.
Oh, so they're scared. They want a little bit of a break. I think we can oblige, right? I think we can let them take a little. They're going to lose anyway. And so, yeah, you guys have a minute to talk to yourselves.
No, Notch. No, Mr. Gnocchi. Is it not Fibonacci, right? Not Gnocchi.
Yeah.
Fibonacci.
What's the big idea?
So you guys are trying to have a sidebar with him?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he bends way down. His big snout is just like in your face. And he's like, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize that I was that good at skee ball. I'm really trying here. I promise. I'm trying as hard as I can.
Listen, buddy, we're going to catch up, but you got to whiff this next one.
Okay, I'll figure something out. I will. I promise. But I'll work something out. I promise. I'll figure something out. But
Tony, I have a really weird request. Can Roach roll noggin to use psychology to understand something that would make Notch actually like off his game? You know what I mean? To like get inside his head a bit, sports wise. Like call him whatever insult would actually. You're
trying to give him the yips.
Really throw him off? Yeah.
Really throw him off. Okay. Because I gotta find a way to roll noggin so that I can do this. All right, I'm gonna burn 3 grit also.
Okay.
I'm gonna roll a d10 plus 4. And I rolled, this is a D100. Oh, that's a 1. That's not a 10, that's a 1.
No, Big Notch's brain is a fortress that you couldn't possibly penetrate. Of course. This dude is way as smart as Roach is. She can't. She's looking up at Big Notch and his big goofy eyes through the 3D glasses.
Reptilian is on another level.
There's nothing there.
I think it's not even species. It's just he's so sincere, and my mind can't fathom. He's just like a real bro. He's a sports bro, and I'm just
he's really trying. Yeah. He says he almost like recognizes. And he's like, I'm gonna try. I promise. This next one, I'm not gonna get it in. It's gonna go somewhere else.
You have a really healthy relationship with your parents. It's really nice chatting with you. I mean, I'm sort of impressed, all told. Anyway, you gotta lose.
What was Mac gonna do?
Oh, Mac is just trying to talk trash, but their infinite smile on their face doesn't let them. So they're just looking like they're complimenting the big guy.
Like, thank you for doing this. I don't know how you're doing that. You're really good at this game.
Trying to look
It's-
angry,
I'm,
but it's
so
I'm really
good.
trying not to be. I want to be humble, but I'm really just so good at this game.
Be humbler.
I'm just so talented.
I'm just so talented. It's really hurting my image right now.
Yeah, but it's like not a function of ego at this point. It's the 10,000 hours, fine Twitch motors. It's just happening. Like he can't control how good. Anyway, all right, let's figure this out.
Okay, so you guys, the whole time the crowd cheers kind of dimmed down for a little bit while you were talking, and right back, like the camera cuts right back to everyone screaming and cheering, shouting obscenities, and that you guys are gonna die. He's gonna squash you. He's gonna sting you. And it is your guys' turn. How would you like to go about throwing your second ball? Just to be super clear, and I probably should have done this earlier, there are the 3 balls that you guys have. The 100 is the highest one it can go. So for a jackpot, most winning number, we're trying to hit 300.
right. Yeah.
I also want to remind everybody that if somebody hits a jackpot, if somebody gets 300, then that giant animatronic character is going to
Mr. Pitt.
explode. Yeah,
Right,
Mr.
right.
Pitt will explode out of the ball pit
Yeah.
without
Yeah.
any context of
Yeah.
what's been happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
So,
is we have to get to.
I
300.
want it so badly.
Yeah.
I want it so badly. Should we just do the same thing we did last time?
Let's
Should we
do it.
Volt-
Let's do it.
Voltron. All right, we're gonna
Voltron.
do Voltron with the. Oh, I like that too.
That is also a good idea.
Yeah, we'll do a Voltron with the like fast anime montage where they use the same montage in every episode where they do.
Yeah.
that. So it's like
exactly the same.
the exact same.
Every time they
cut.
power up, it's just the same cut.
Yeah, same music. Everything is the
Yep.
exact same, and
Sweet.
then we go for it.
So long as these rolls go well enough, I'll give it to
Yeah,
you.
as the slinky is coming back, they're just going, all 3 of them. Oh,
Just
Yeah.
kind
Not
of
doing that. No.
squeakity.
I think I'm making like a pretty normal noise. Like,
Lines are
okay,
going across the screen.
Yeah.
I'm holding it the best I can hold it. Am I doing it right? Am I doing anime correct? Am I saying it right? Is
and
it
then
anime or
upon
anime? I'm
upon
never
release
sure.
of the ball,
I think
it
it's
like
anime.
it closes up on each of us, like going like this, yeah, and it splits across the screen in a diagonal 3 ways, yeah, yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely that.
I need you guys to. Well, this all sounds great. Can you?
Yeah,
you
can we
all
do it?
roll
Yep.
to see if it works.
I'm gonna burn 3 grit this time.
Same.
Same. Okay, and that gives me a
And this
6, but I'm almost out
Scrap.
of grit.
Oh wait, this is scurry still, right?
Scurry. Yeah.
I got an 11 total.
So an 11, a 6, and whatever Jen got.
An 11 again.
11. Okay.
Hooray!
I'm sorry, an 11, a 6, and
And an 11. 2 11s and a 6.
oh, beautiful. Who got the 6?
I got the 6.
Okay, so you guys reel them all the way back, and all the anime cuts are happening just before Roach is just before like the release. A banana peel flies out like from the crowd and lands right on top of Roach's head. Roach, can you make an instinct check for me to see if this is gonna last second shake you from like cinching this cool anime launch?
I mean, I technically can. Should I burn table talk? Should I burn my last 3 grit? Because I only have a D6 instinct. I'm very oblivious.
Yeah, I'd say go ahead and burn it.
Okay.
I have an
And then a
okay
0 grit.
reserve that I can use on our next roll.
Okay. D6 plus 3. Here we go. Out of grit. I'm so fatigued by interacting with this many people. 4 plus 3 is a 7. Okay.
Yeah, with the 7, all of the anime blur lines like literally peel the banana peel back off of the face. Like there's so much wind and energy that it catches your head and you're like, ugh, and it flies off into the background. The core animation that keeps being repeated stops for a second for that one little bit, and it gets right back into it. The ball flies off into the back, and the same animation frames before where it flies into the back. It jumps up a little bit, comes back down. You guys jump in the air for a second and land on it. Now the score up at the top is tied once more, 200 to 200. The crowd does die down again, and this time doesn't come back quite so energetic. Sneet. And they're not so sure about it this time.
Dylan looks
a couple
around
of
at the
them
crowd
run
and
over
says,
to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Dylan looks around at the crowd and he's like turning and he's going, "Are you not entertained?"
There is like a small group in front of you that is like, yeah, woo! Like at this point, it's like flipped around and it was just proud to see you guys doing so well. Like, yeah, that's awesome.
They're the real sports fans.
Yeah, exactly. Rooting against the hometown.
Big Notch smiles down at you guys and he goes, "Whew, this looks like a close game, but don't worry, I got this." And Big Notch walks over to the ball and he bends down to grab it. And Big Notch is like, "I can't miss this one." And
so Tony, as he's doing that, I'd like to do a thing, but describe the rest of what he thinks he's doing, and then I'll say what Roach would like to do with her last gasp effort here.
Big Notch, for a third and final time, bends down, looks at you guys bends down the 3D glasses and looks at you guys, and instead of a wink this time, he just closes both eyes and then he puts the glasses back up and he stands up like not quite right head on to it, and he starts to pull his arm back before he's gonna release it. I don't know if you wanted to if Roach still wants to interfere here.
I want to steal the ball and replace it with the stuff I've been carrying my whole time, my lucky marble. I have a colorful marble, and I would like to swap those out in broad, in front of everyone without being seen, if possible.
Yeah, amazing.
Fingers,
Radically different sized objects.
Radically different sized. You won't notice.
Can you read out specifically what Sticky Fingers does?
Yeah, so my role as the person who's just constantly stealing stuff is you roll with advantage when trying to steal or hide objects.
Sweet.
So I would really like to use that, and I also, so I'm just trying to stack the, even if he's got his eyes closed, I don't trust this guy. He's gotten 2 ones in a row. Yeah.
I would call that I would probably call that a scurry roll to see if you can get in and out of there quick enough.
Yeah, I imagine scurry with advantage, and then I'm gonna invent a catchphrase and try to roll 3d8s basically and pick the best.
Yeah, sure, that's awesome.
What should my catchphrase be? I feel like my catchphrase is just as long as everything else, so it's just like
I don't know, like I always imagine writing my memoirs, but like, and then the thought of like, I don't know, like who's gonna read that? I mean, it's not that people don't read anymore, it's just that
and so that's the catchphrase, I think.
Yeah, the whole time.
The whole
while you're stealing it.
It's my anxiety about how people will remember me.
You've actually been saying your catchphrase the entire episode.
That was the catchphrase.
It's the
Through
Fiona
the length
Apple
of
album.
the entire show. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah.
Okay, I'm rolling 3d8.
It's kind of like
that's a 4, a 4, and a 1.
A 4.
Oh no.
And I have 0 grit. I'm sorry, team, if this goes awry. You have
okay.
another plan that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
We got a plan.
Roach, saying her catchphrase, kind of flies through the air and tries to do this really cool, like mid-air, and tries to swap them out really quick. In actuality, she manages to sort of swat the ball out of Big Notch's hand, but isn't able to slot the marble back in place. So she kind of just looks like to the crowd like she's just flying through the air and just poof, knocks the ball out of Big Notch's hand, like super unsportsmanlike. And rather than the crowd being angry, they actually are like, "Whoa, yeah!" It actually eggs them on. They're super stoked about the fact that that Roach went out of her way to try to screw over the boss, and they're all like, "Now he's really gonna get you. Ooh, you don't know what you just did. He's gonna be so angry now."
I think it takes a second, but Roach is pretty smart, so she realizes she could just play the foil. So I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm a bad lady. I'm gonna cut you. Watch out! I have 2 razors in my pockets." I don't know.
Yeah, another Roach comes up behind you and is hyping you up. They're like, "Yeah, tell him what you're gonna do."
Yeah, you can call me the Queen Razor. I don't know. That seems ridiculous for skee-ball players to have personas.
And now you have this smaller organization of the critters that have kind of sectioned themselves off. Queen Razor, Queen Razor, Queen Razor.
Okay, I'd be winking if.
Exactly, just like that.
Yeah.
For those listening at home who can't see, Jenn is holding up a number of stuffed animals that are her critters.
The caterpillar it inches its way in. Queen Razor. Razor, Queen Razor.
Yeah, I hand it over. I think I am just purely distraction now, and the actual work has to be done by people who are good at this.
Nice.
Dylan and Mac, what would you guys like to be up to? It is your turn. So this is the.
Is he gonna throw?
What
That's
happened?
right. I'm sorry.
That was
I was
his
so
failed.
distracted that Big Notch was like, yeah, whatever.
Distracted the GM, yeah.
Yeah. Big Notch feels the pressure of everybody saying like, yeah, he's gonna squash you now. Ooh, the game's over. He's just gonna eat you. And Big Notch kind of looks over to you guys, and he's like, I don't want to eat you. I don't want to have to do that. He bends down, and it's taking him a minute to find the ball. With everybody kind of moving and rustling around, the ball is kind of bounced and scurried away. So Big Notch is kind of fumbling around, kind of moving critters around. It's like, I gotta find the ball. I gotta find it real quick.
Could I run over really quickly and pick up one of the ball pit balls that's fallen on the ground and try to
absolutely
throw the weight off, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Dylan's like, oh, here, let me help you. I want to be sportsmanlike here. Let me help you out there, buddy. And he like runs down and scurries around really quickly and picks up one of the pill bug balls that's on the floor that's been shot out of the ball pit. And then
you're able to grab one up.
Tries to hand it to him, disguising it as the skee ball, and gives him a big like armadillo wink.
Big Notch, still with his eyes closed, like kind of looks not directly at you and goes, "Thanks for giving me the ball." And he in Big Notch's mind, you just handed him the ball again because he's really committed to not doing well this time around. So his eyes are just permanently closed to make sure he absolutely fails. He grabs the ball and he stands back up. He's like, "All right, I got it. I got the ball. Time to put this thing to bed." And he cocks back real hard, and in his big gator paw, like the crowd doesn't know the difference between anything else that's going on. I'm going to have him roll with, I guess technically disadvantage with the ball in hand, the fake ball in hand. So we want him to roll high.
So advantage.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful. You rolled a 9, which is good for you guys.
Good for us.
Yes. He cocks back, and just like the very first time, he and all of the trappings of it going really, really well are all there. There's like fire on the ball as it's coming around, kind of like in a video game, like, powered up. And as he goes to like release it, it just the camera cuts to just his big paw, and it kind of like a weak whimper as it kind of slowly, and it just slowly rolls up the snoot, and then it slowly rolls all the way back down the snoot and kind of tink, 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 tink.
Nice.
Clatters back down to the ground in a soft plasticky way, but the whole crowd is so quiet you can hear it kind of thudding against the ground. And so now the whole crowd's this hushed little, like, kind of whisper into themselves, and they're all. Big Notch looks over to you guys, both nervous and happy that he actually screwed it up, and he's like, "Okay, they're not gonna be able to win. There's nothing that they're gonna whip it too. Watch these fools. They're not even gonna be able to get the ball in." And he looks over to you guys and the whole crowd. Your little section of the crowd is actually chanting, "Queen Razor, Queen Razor, Queen Razor," is slowly gaining support.
Nice.
As the seconds kind of tick by. It is you guys are up.
Okay. So Dylan saunters up to the ball disposal slot. I don't know what they're called. There's got to be a technical term. Maybe we can look that up too. Pulls out the last of the 3 balls and then sees the young mouse that we told was going to die earlier. I don't quite remember that, but he goes, "Hey kid, I don't need this. You take it." And he like lobs the ball at the kid, which I'm assuming the mouse is probably the size of this ball, but you know, it's just like whatever. And then Dylan looks at Mac and Roach and says, "Well, friends, I might need a push." And he rolls up, so I'm going to use tuck and roll, which is another one of my animal abilities, animal talents. So he tuck and roll. It's a standard. I burn 4 grit, which I will do now. I have 4 grit remaining after that. And then, basically he rolls up like Sonic the Hedgehog and even starts to like do the like
high pitched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he says, you can kind of hear him, Mac and Roach, you can hear him go, on my signal, give me a big old push, y'all.
You
and
got
he's
it.
like
Whatever
ramping up. And he goes, now! And then, and I'm gonna burn I'm gonna burn 3 grit to add that to a scurry roll if that's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would call that another scurry roll from the 3 of you guys. Lots of
From us
scurry
also,
rolls this
yeah.
time around.
Okay.
So we need to roll even though the armadillo is using a power.
I'm reading through the text of the power specifically right now.
Okay. I ask just as I have no
Change.
grit to burn on this, so
I do.
Screw it up.
Yeah, so I would say that beyond the grit that Dylan already rolled to use this power, Dylan doesn't need to make another scurry roll. The power lets him send off in a direction. I would say that it is Roach's and Mac's job to make sure that he is pointed in the correct direction because he's not able to like course correct mid-roll.
Okay.
So Roach and Mac, a final scurry roll to cinch the title.
Straight D8.
Okay. That is burning 6. Got a 10.
Amazing.
Natural 7.
Whoa!
Amazing. So Dylan burning up. It's literally creating like tire smoke on the edge of the skee ball machine. Roach and Mac are like kind of timidly like making sure that it's all lined up, almost like a little pit stop crew, making sure that you're good to go. And on release, it like in animes where they just flash out of frame. There's not even like a direction; it just blips somewhere else, leaving a big trail of smoke. The armadillo is furling up the big snoot of this sneak skee ball machine. And you guys watch as Dylan, the whole crowd goes quiet, super slow motion. You can see Dylan it slows down even his high speed, and it's just Dylan into the air. The whole crowd is in slow. Oh yeah.
The sound effect has a Texas accent.
Exactly. Yeah. And as it all kind of flips back into full speed, Dylan crashes through the 100 hole straight through the back of the machine. The machine doesn't even have a chance to tip over. Dylan just plows through the machine.
Like splinters out the back.
Exactly. The whole crowd at this point is quiet for a second. At the top, the score reads 300,
Jackpot, ding, ding, ding,
jackpot, ding, ding, ding. And with the crowd entirely quiet and dumbfounded, from the back of the arcade, we just see like 100 balls start flying out into the air as Mr. Pitt shambles with what little life and energy he has left to put on the performance of a lifetime. Just these big, colorful arms flapping around in the back. And you can hear his voice all robot-y and staticky, and the bass like, I'm doing it, distraction, ah! He starts screaming. And the whole crowd kind of turns for a minute and sees Mr. Pitt flailing his arms. And from a single voice in the crowd, from the kid now holding that big ball that Dylan threw down, it's like, hey, that's the guy we don't like. Get him! And a bunch of the crowd starts running over to the ball pit while he's flailing his arms. It's like I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 of the little rodents are running over to check on and beat up Mr. Pitt that is throwing some balls around. The rest of them pivot their heads back to you guys and then go look up at the Big Notch. They look down to you guys, and Big Notch looks at them, and he's like, "Well, they won fair and square!" And the whole crowd is like kind of like super, super stoked that you guys actually won. There's like, yeah, this is crazy. a bunch of the people that were like talking shit earlier come over to you guys, and they're like, "Hey," shaking your hand and putting on like the really goofy like gold medals that you can get at the arcades for like a couple hundred tickets. You're just getting showered in lays and those goofy gold medals.
Like
Yeah,
finger traps. And...
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, a small, I don't know, a small duck has shaken a soda and is opening it and going.
There's a kazoo orchestra.
Exactly. They're doing the contain the soup outside of itself game as from the commercial where they have a bunch of cans of soup and they're just shaking all the liquid out all over the place. And Big Notch says, "A game's a game, fellas." And he says, "I'm going to take these champs back to the office and we're going to make sure that this is squared out fair and square. Everybody give it up for the new Sneakball champions." And he leans down to you three and he's like, "What do we call you guys?"
The Razor Queens.
The Razor Queens! And the whole crowd goes crazy for Razor Queen. Razor Queen.
Razor.
Do we have to give a speech? Because I don't have one prepared, but I have some
speech.
extempore remarks on the nature of your neo-sincerity.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you hear me in the back? Your legalism is charming.
No, we don't want to.
Does it like do the cartoon iris out thing where like iris is to black and it's just like then comes back and it's just Roach giving a TED talk?
So anyway, that's why we need to establish the new energy authorities. You understand? When the sports game wacky robot monster arrives equals new energy authority.
And there's like many steps in between she's outlined.
Yeah.
Maybe they make sense.
And all the mice just leave.
They're all dead.
Now you have to fill out this form, and it's like
a scrap of kilowatt hours.
Yeah, it's a scrap of bubblegum wrapper with paw prints all over it.
Exactly.
Welcome to our communist bureaucracy that we've forced you into by winning a game.
Sorry, guys. I know I railroaded us into this.
No, not at all. Roach has taken charge of explaining the new situation to the rest of the group, and Big Notch nods approvingly in the background, like sat on stage with you, but kind of just in a chair.
Like this.
Exactly. Yeah.
Falling asleep. Commissar Roach.
There is a new power usage agreement that's been agreed to by all of the members of the Roly Poly Arcade, and Big Notch stings it with his big stinger to sign the deal outright officially. And he says, "All right, you come on, champs, you come back into my office and we'll square this away and y'all can get on home. I'm glad we were able to work this out." And as you guys are making your way back through the arcade, you see that rather than rip apart Big Pitt or Mr. Pitt, he is now kind of helping massage the balls around and creates almost like a whirlpool of balls. The critters are kind of hanging off of him, and they were able to have a nice time. He kind of looks over to you guys still and is like, "I'm really tired. Please turn the power off today, even just for a little bit. This is better than it was, but this still isn't perfect." And he's still moving his arms around. And you guys go through several more chambers of smaller mice in front of doors till you get back to the big guy's office. And he's like, I really appreciate you guys helping me out. I like being I like being the big guy, and I'm sorry, I'm just so good at playing skee ball. I can't help myself sometimes, But I'm glad that it all worked out. And as promised, we're gonna agree to, turning the knob down every once in a while so y'all can, do what you gotta do to help those guys out, and I'm gonna do what I do to help my guys out. As promised, anything off the prize wall that you'd like to take with you, it's yours for the taking. And he lets you guys go. He gives you each a little handshake. It's like, best of luck. Hopefully we can do some more business in the future. If you have any parting words, I would love to hear them.
Mac is holding one claw with both hands and shaking up and down vigorously and saying
we got a lot of good pizza over where we are in our borough.
Oh, I like pizza. Great. Maybe I'll stop by. Make sure you tell them that Big Notch is coming.
Yeah. No parting words from Dylan, but he kind of grabs Roach and Mac on the show. He puts his armadillo arms around your shoulders, says, "Oh boy, we had an adventure today, but guess what, critters? It's time to roll out." That's his catchphrase. Yeah. And then
Nice. the camera is gonna like do a soft fade into the three of you guys walking back out from the roly-poly arcade, like shot from within the arcade, and it's just your backs, and you guys are kind of all walking alongside each other. The three of you guys holding your prize wall item reward.
Nice.
Mac, what would you have wanted to grab from the prize wall?
I gotta run, but I will. I really appreciate playing with you guys, and I want to do it again.
Yeah.
Later, Wythe.
Bye,
Thank you so
Wythe.
much, man.
Yeah, Mac, out of her little tiny marsupial pouch, she pulls out a sticky hand.
Nice.
And you can see her like sticking it on things, and then also on Dylan's back, and then like, last shot hits her in her own face.
Nice. Dylan, what did you grab?
Dylan grabbed one of those little plastic finger monster things.
Yeah.
I don't. There's
But
got to
for
be
you, it's on your hand.
That's
like,
that's what I was gonna say. Is like he's using it as a full hand puppet.
That's so cool. That's such a cool idea. Nice.
It's so good.
And he's named it Ladybird.
Amazing.
So he's like talking. He's like, well, "What do you think, Ladybird?"
Yeah, the final shot is you guys flicking the sticky hand, and Dylan talking to his hand puppet.
Yeah.
As you guys exit, and the automatic doors creak closed behind you guys, and you guys kind of walk off through the parking lot. The lights on the inside of the arcade slowly flicker and shut down for the first time in about a month. And exactly. And the episode kind of fades to black, and credits are going to roll. Whatever outro music starts to play. And that is the end of the episode.
Love it.
Amazing.
You guys did a great job.
Yeah, thank you, Tony.
Thank
that was
you.
great.
That was so much
I had a really
fun.
good time with that.
Yeah, me too. That was so fun.
So typically, I don't know how much longer we want to run, but typically,
cut off here in a sec.
typically at the end of Blister Critter episodes, this would be the point, depending on how long of a season you want to play. Like each session is an episode, so this would be the point, depending on how long of a campaign Blister Critters is set up to be, kind of shorter, condensed campaigns. So like 10 sessions max, shorter if you want it to be that way. Now would be when you would like level up and
Very nice.
grab some more grit, so you have more leeway with using cool powers. You'd pick up a new blister, so a new kind of wacky mutated power you'd get to choose from on, let me drag it in real quick, on the blister tree. So in Blister Critters, the way that you advance, unlike some other games, is through a big like skill tree of sorts. And so as you go up, here, I can take a screenshot and just drag it in.
Oh, cool. Awesome.
So I'm having a hard time pulling it up quick.
This little Mac gotta go fast.
Why is it? Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to. Oh, someone's talking. There we go.
Cool layers.
There we go.
Yeah, so something like this where you guys are all level 1, so you're all in the Dasher guy down here. For the podcast listeners, I'm showing off this blister tree display. It's available in the free quick start. You can look at it there as well. But you guys start here in the Dasher, and then after this episode, I would let you guys choose from either Double Scratch or Leech. And then from there, the paths branch and merge, and you make your way up the tree to the wackier and more zany, mutated, gross powers where you have tentacle limbs and laser eyes and
Kaiju.
telekinesis.
Ooh,
Yeah.
kaiju, cool.
All kinds of really cool stuff.
Yoink.
Amazing.
That's what would happen here. For my players, I like to have like a post-episode breakdown, but we kind of have to wrap up. Yeah, you guys did an amazing job. That was a
Thank
really
you.
cool,
That was
really
so
cool
much
session to
fun.
play.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Thanks for running that, Tony. Where can people find Blister Critters? What's the easiest way to find you and to download the
You
game?
can find Blister Critters on itch and on DriveThruRPG. If you just look up Blister Critters itch or Blister Critters DTRPG, it'll come up pretty quickly. There's a free quick start on both of those sites. If you go to play.blistercritters.com, prior to launch, you can sign up and get access to a squirrel queendom adventure that's being put together by Wythe. So that'd be like a free adventure, or not a free adventure, but an adventure that you'll be able to play, and that is exclusive to signing up at play.blistercritters.com prior to launch. And if you want to sign up for notifications for when the Kickstarter goes live in February, that is just at blistercritters.com. That'll take you right to the sign up page prior.
Sweet. Perfect. Yeah, and we'll link all of that in the show notes, of course. And then, yeah, Jenn, any parting words? Anything?
Any parting words? Everybody, thank you for having me. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening in the future. You can catch new episodes of Fun City at funcity.ventures or on any podcast platform of your choice. And tonight, I'm sorry this is already in the past for people listening later. Tonight is the finale of Replay. That is at deadghostpro.com, or you can head to Linktree and their username is deadghostpro as well. We have a Discord where you can live listen with us tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. And yeah, hopefully I'm playing more games and maybe running this game sometime in the future.
That'd be fantastic.
I think that definitely needs to happen.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, yeah, again, thank you, everybody, for tuning in for the stream. Super fun playing. I'm glad that you could all be here to watch it and experience the greatness that is Blister Critters. I'm really excited for this to come out soon. This has been Why We Roll. I'm Chris Pickett, signing off for Wythe Marschall as well. But have a good night, and yeah, we'll see you soon.
Later. Be safe.